Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So tonight, I got to share some huge, massive news that came out of China. This has major repercussions for crypto, for Bitcoin altogether. So let's talk about this gigantic news. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys tuned into my spaces just now. Happened at 6:30. I had some big, massive names in it. You had Ben Cohen, you had Crypto Zombie, Leah Halpern, Brian Evans. I mean, it was crowded. It was a good one. So that's why you guys need to follow me on Twitter if you don't. Spaces every Wednesday night. But anyways, as for this massive news, today, I mean, we need it, right? Look at today. Today was just absolutely horrible. Decimated by UK's inflation reading, which actually turned out to be FUD. That's the thing. This morning, I'm reading a headline news showing inflation going back up, but in fact, overall inflation in the UK actually went down. So we all got like faked out, FUDed out, right? And the US market followed the European market, which is just as bad, right? So I don't know what the deal with that is. Speaking of spaces, you have DeSantis trying to announce his presidency on Twitter, and a lot of people tune in for this, but then it like crashed because there's so many people that tune into it. But I would argue that my Spaces was better. But there are a lot of people taking advantage of Spaces these days, and Elon backs them. But going back to the fuddishness, right? One good thing that came out of today, Fed minutes. What was discussed behind closed doors last FOMC meeting? Well, all these board governors and Powell basically feel like, we don't need any more rate hikes. Less confident on the need for more rate hikes. That's fantastic, right? That's what we want to hear. But looking at the prediction for the next FOMC meeting, we're still sitting at 34%, thinking that we will get another rate hike. So it's kind of conflicted, that's what I meant, at this point in time. No one wants to see more rate hikes, okay? The banks are going to really suffer if we get any more. Plus, people are suffering. Plus, there are a lot of companies laying off. They can't get the loans or liquidity they need to survive, really, or the credit, I should say, not liquidity, right? So yeah, I mean, you put this on top of the debt ceiling stuff, right? Of course, that didn't go away. Janet Yellen is shouting from her office that June 1st, we will run out of money as a country. June 1st, that's 1 week away. We're not talking about 6 months down the line when this was discussed back in December. We're 1 week away as a nation running out of money. And we need that lifeline. We need to turn on that money printer and print some more to survive. That's how dire it is. And we still don't have a resolution. So that's bad. That's bad, right? But of course, if you print more money, well, that means there's going to be more rate hikes or prolonged rate hikes, right? Because that's going to add to inflation. I mean, see, it's like on one hand, you don't want this to happen, right? But on the other hand, you kind of do, and you kind of want the system to kind of reset itself, right? So to speak. That's a situation we're in. Like some people say, yeah, just let it, just let the country burn, let USD burn. That's not a good solution either. But we want to see some kind of, I don't know, some kind of control so that we don't just keep printing more money, right? But despite all the fuddishness that's been happening, we got one good thing. And it's been rumored, and CZ even tweeted out, this is massive, massive news. CCTV, China Central Television, just broadcasted crypto. It's a big deal. The Chinese-speaking communities are buzzing. Historically, coverages like these lead to bull runs. Not to saying past predicts the future and not financial advice, but basically, yes, that is financial advice. Go buy some Bitcoin, right? And it's true. Nothing gets broadcasted without the CCP saying, yes, go ahead and do so, right? So that's why I show this in my thumbnail. Basically, they have confirmed retail investors in Hong Kong are allowed to buy Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin, but Ethereum and Polygon and Avalanche and Chainlink and a few others. This is a done deal. This is coming June 1st. Okay, again, same deadline as the debt ceiling. But this is absolutely massive. I think this is going to be absolutely massive. I mean, Hong Kong has a lot of citizens, right? But, you know, on top of this, supposedly, that mainland China institutions are also allowed to buy, right? So we're talking about billions to trillions sitting on the sidelines that could be entering in, okay? And imagine the next bull run when even more money flows in. It's going to be unlike we have ever seen before. Unlike anything we have ever seen before in terms of money flowing in to the space. Okay. Now, even if you discount everything that I just said, right? Even if you don't believe any of the macro stuff, and whether or not they have anything to do with Bitcoin, well, then believe in this. You know, the 4-year cycle, right? The halving event. And every single time we have a halving event, right, we find the bottom, and then we move forward. I mean, this is the way, right? This is the way, as Mandalorian would say. And you know what? It's pretty clear. Bitcoin always forms a new high, forms a new higher low, right? And continues forward according to plan. Nothing has really deviated right now because of diminishing returns, because the growing market cap. You're not going to have the same kind of exponential growth. You know, first halving event, we had a 360x growth, right? Then you had 68x growth. Then you had 8x growth, right? So this time around, where we go have, I don't know, right? This is from the halving event, by the way, not from the bottom. So we're not even at the halving event. But this time around, who knows? Maybe Bitcoin will be at 50,000 by the halving event, right? Then even a 5x from 50,000 is 250,000. So that's certainly possible within this next cycle, right? So again, something to look forward to. This is why I am bullish on Bitcoin, right? I'll continue to be bullish on Bitcoin, not just because of this, but also because of all the silly macro stuff that I keep covering about the banks and central banks and overspending and all that stuff, right? You can't ignore all that. Well, you could, but then you're doing yourself a disservice, because the more you know, the more educated you are, right? And then, of course, for Bitcoin, you look at sum of transfer volume. Bitcoin network has settled 108 trillion transactions overall. Obviously, all-time high, right? And continues to go higher. Bitcoin's network is getting bigger and stronger each and every day. Of course, the holders also above 1 million with over 1 Bitcoin. Getting stronger and keeps going higher and higher and higher. So this is good stuff. Good stuff. Growing fundamentals, right? We got this 4-year cycle to look forward to, the new one. And we have more people turning to Bitcoin because they're sick of what their central bank is doing. I mean, this is all leading up to great things. And plus, let's not forget China going all in on crypto soon. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. You know, what about some altcoins? Ava Labs, who is behind Avalanche, who happens to be one of the crypto that Hong Kong citizens can buy. Okay, so think about that. Well, they just launched a no-code Web3 launchpad. Interesting. AvaCluod, which allows businesses to launch whatever they want, right, without really needing to code. And that's the whole point. No code. So it's like a builder, so to speak, right? And what can you build? Well, you can build a validator and power the network, right? You can build a blockchain. There's an automated blockchain builder. And then there's other things like data tools, and you get chain interoperability, which means that whatever you're building connects up and hooks up to Avalanche, and there's subnets too. So, you know, Avalanche is moving forward. Terrific project. Been a little stagnant in terms of price, but they are certainly building. And they have a big partnership with Amazon too. Okay. So let's not forget that connection. And also Amazon itself is looking to integrate with ChatGPT. And, you know, there's many projects that's trying to do so right now. So I'm sure Avalanche is trying to utilize this too, right? But there's a lot of things going on within Avalanche. That's fantastic. But the other project that's also integrating ChatGPT is Solana. I just covered that yesterday. Solana just built a plugin so that things on top of Solana can utilize ChatGPT, which is actually really smart if you ask me. And then I saw recently, those of you guys that use Photoshop, supposedly ChatGPT is also built into Photoshop or some kind of tool where you could speak to it and it'll just do whatever, which sounds really amazing if you ask me. So there's that too. But also what relates to Solana is Injective protocol, which is out of Cosmos, right? They have just launched IBC so that Solana developers can now interact and build within Injective and talk to Cosmos and others. That's fantastic. That's really big. Right? IBC is absolutely huge. Started with Cosmos, but really expanding out elsewhere. But so that's great news for Solana and for Injective, for Cosmos, and it's good for everyone. And then lastly, I saw a couple things relating to the SEC. Ripple was fighting the good fight. They say they have $1 billion in the war chest to make acquisitions today. They did invest in Bitstamp, right? And they will continue to make acquisitions. Basically, they're giving the middle finger to the SEC, thinking, hey, you think we're out of money? We are not out of money. We will fight you tooth and nail forever until you lose. Okay? So basically, this is Brad, you know, strutting around saying, look at us. We will win, and we have more than enough money to make acquisitions right now. So good for Ripple, good for XRP. But speaking of Gary and SEC, Mark Cuban has an interesting idea of how projects can get away from the SEC. Basically release all their tokens, right? And lock in the smart contract and dissolve the company. Then the SEC can't go after anyone because technically no one owns the tokens anymore and it's being released through smart contracts. Interesting idea. But there are some projects that's already kind of doing this, right? But everyone's trying to figure out how to circumvent the SEC and Gary, right? It's like even if you come up with these creative ideas, they'll probably go after you anyways if you get too big. So I don't know. But we need some clarity. That's what Coinbase is trying to get with their lawsuit. We need some kind of clarity from the SEC, which we just don't have. All right. That's pretty much it. You know, tonight is DCA night, right? I think it's Wednesday. So let me bring it up. Fifth Avenue Phil just sent a big super chat. LimeWire is now live. They have a coin. Check it out. Well, before I get to DCA, since you asked so nicely. Well, is this right? Because this is not a explosive opening, if you ask me. Is this the right LimeWire? Yeah. Well, that doesn't look very exciting. Empowering artists through ownership. The new LimeWire is a place to take control of your content, connect with your biggest fans, and get paid for doing what you love. Well, this concept has been around for a while. So are you the founder or something? I mean, I've talked to, even with someone on Fillmore Pass had a version of this. So, okay. Not the most revolutionary idea, but okay. Speaking of DCA, unfortunately went down. Last week it was a little bit higher. So we lost about 5% in the week. For the past month, about 6%. It's been really stagnant. So we've basically been hovering around this 27,000 mark. But although we went a little bit lower, now we're 26,000. And I know a lot of people are fearful, but you know what? We have been through much worse, right? Much, much worse. So we're going to continue to DCA until we get in the green. So what should I buy today? I think I'll go all in on Pepe. That's the best move right now. No, I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. Well, I just cover Injective. I have a little bit of Injective. Stacks, maybe Ordinals. You know, maybe that could be an interesting play. Arbitrum is down. Let's see. I don't know. Cosmos, still good. You know, I think Nathan says Cadena is cheap. Well, I do have some Cadena. I haven't DC'd into them for a while. I don't know. I'm still bullish on Cadena, but right now there's just not a whole lot that's going on. I think I'd rather just stick with, you know, because I covered Avalanche today. I'm gonna do a little Avalanche, and then Bitcoin. I don't know. Bitcoin. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Bitcoin. Injective. Optimism has not been doing well. I do have Pepe. I don't even remember what I added Pepe. All right, let's just add a little bit of Bitcoin and an Avalanche. Oops, 2609. All right, so 50 bucks into it would be 0.00191. And then 50 bucks into Avalanche. All right, so Avalanche and Bitcoin. When in doubt, just go with Bitcoin. You can't go wrong with it. And Nathan, I appreciate a super chat. I don't mean to just discount you on Cadena, but you know, I don't know what much that's going on with Cadena these days. All right, let's do some Q&A. Where's my CMC? All right, let's see here. Let's see what I missed. Okay, I'm still scrolling here. George, you think about China pumping Chinese tokens like Conflux and VeChain? Well, first of all, VeChain is no longer Chinese. They moved their headquarters to somewhere in Europe, right? I still think they have huge ties within China, so that could definitely help them. Conflux is still within China. I think there has to be, right? There has to be some favoritism toward Chinese-based projects. Although they haven't stated that yet, but eventually you got to figure that it's going to lead there. Paper wallets generated offline using JavaScript is safe. I've never used a paper wallet, but I'm assuming it is. Basically, you're just encrypting the private key. That's really what it is. So yes, as long as you don't lose that or someone looks at it. You think Polygon is falling behind? No, I don't think so. I think they just lost a lot of edge to the L2s. I'm still surprised they sold off so much. They lost a lot to the L2s. A lot of momentum is what I mean. It feels like someone is counter-trading BTC like SBF with FTX. Your thoughts? I don't doubt it. There's always traders that's scalping all day long with their bots, these algo bots and stuff like that. You know, when there's light market, that can certainly suppress the market. But when there's a lot of volume, then, of course, it offsets that. But FTX was definitely doing it. I don't know who else would be doing it right now. I think it's just a scary time, right? Like all these things I mentioned about the debt ceiling and stuff like that, there's just less money flowing into the space. Jason, what are your thoughts on Bencoin? I don't have any thoughts. I don't know what Ben is actually going to do with Bencoin. So I just know that there were some problems today on Uniswap due to a picture swap, and he took control. I don't know what's going to be announced, so I can't really say. There is a new meme coin, though. There is a new meme coin that I have some. I think it has a good promise, but I'm not going to share it and keep it to myself. You know anything about air gap wallets, or can you do a video about them? I don't know what air gap means. Air gap wallets. It just means like cold wallets. Like I don't actually know what that means. You know, it's funny, in the spaces I had, you know, talking to some of the people, like, you know, what wallets do you use now? Like I think most of them use Ledger, so they don't even know what to move to, like kind of like me, right? So right now I still use my mobile wallet. I still use my browser wallet a lot, and I have a couple of them. But I don't know. Now there's talks about how Tezos or Tezos, not Tezos, but Tezos wallet, there's a security breach and how you could hack it too. Like, I don't even know that's real, but there's a lot of stuff happening. Grady, my man, yeah, it was a good lineup. Hopefully I could get more. I actually invited too many people, and my Android kept, like, I was supposed to have Wendio, and I apologized to her because I couldn't see her, I couldn't invite her, and Crow didn't show up. But I actually had probably invited too many people. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some good people on every single week, and good projects too. Any Minnesota meetup plans? Minnesota's kind of boring. Maybe a Mall of America meetup. I don't know. Dude, I've already said this. You know, when the market is so flat and it's boring, right? You need some fun, right? That's what meme coins are for. You got to be careful. They're a gamble, complete degen gambling, okay? They can crash at any time, right? But at least there's some excitement there, right? While you're holding and DCA. So that's how I approach things. Do you like Algorand? I used to. Now I'm more neutral on them. I don't know what happened. I was really hopeful on them for their NFTs, and they had a pretty good lineup, and then just nothingness. Like after the World Cup, it's just nothingness, nothing but downtrend. So I don't know what's going on with them. I haven't heard much news out of Algorand recently either. Stop going to Vegas. Just buy meme coins, better payout. I mean, that's exactly true. Like, if any of you guys are gamblers, right? Like, one of my best friends is, I mean, I don't think he's a gambler, but he got really addicted recently to craps. I'm like, you know, all the money that you spend, you throw at the casino. If you throw those at meme coins, you probably will do better, way better. And the upside potential is endless, right? Like, if you catch one that's good and make you like millions. So, I mean, honestly, if you want to gamble and you're usually a gambler, stop gambling and invest in meme coins. It'll probably be better. But, again, not financial advice, but at least there's a chance there, right? All disc golf. Someone just asked me about that. When Ben keeps, you know, talking about it, it tends to pump, right? But I don't know what the true intentions are. If it's just a fun meme coin, or is he go do something with it? If he does something with it, great. But if it's just a meme coin, then it's just a meme coin, right? I don't know what he plans on doing with it. Brandon Thielman. Say hi to me, George. I need to be cheered up. Thanks for watching, Brandon. Hopefully you're hanging in there. Do you think FTX is a future? Well, there's talks about they're going to come back. They're going to be reopened again. And I don't think anyone wants that. What's your exit price for XRP, and do you want to meet Brad Garlinghouse? You know what? I told you guys. If you guys have connections to him, I would totally talk to him and invite him to my conference, right? I'm trying to host a conference in Vegas later in 2024, January 2024. I totally want, you know, Brad to come on and speak about XRP, speak about Ripple, speak about the lawsuit. I'll make that happen. You guys tell Brad I want to talk to him. I actually know someone that knows Brad, so maybe I'll use that leverage. And while he's speaking in the middle of it, I'm going to showcase the most educational video ever in history behind him to help pump up the audience. Stop talking about PSYOP. That's a total shit show created by a total... Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Don't talk about that. That's total pump and dump. And that guy, like, asked people to send him ETH directly or something. It's like, what? Nashville isn't just for family trips. Bars playing rock and hip-hop, not just country. It's a party city, more females than male ratio, mostly single, party buses, trending hipsters, and techies. I don't believe what you just said there. Nashville is definitely not known as a party city, and not known for party buses and trending hipsters and techies. I just don't believe that. It does not have a reputation for that. Reputation for... I'm not going to finish that. I don't know. With Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville next year, I don't know if I'm going to attend. You know, it's like, yeah. Did Ledger CEO backtrack what they said? I don't think so. No, I haven't heard that. They delayed pushing the update that will allow them to get the backdoor installed, but I have not heard anything about him backtracking. Now, everyone's saying Nashville is a party city. It's one of the funnest towns I've been. I don't know if you guys are lying or not. How can it be that fun? I like to know how how a city like Nashville, known for like country music, be all that fun. Nashville is a bachelorette party with a city in it. Does that mean it has really good strip clubs? If it does, then you sold me. Then I'll move my GeorgeCon to Nashville. Yeah, why is DXY pumping? Whenever there's fear about rate hikes or recession, you know, DXY goes up because basically, I don't know, people are flocking to bonds. Other countries are buying USD thinking that, you know, their fiat's going to be worse. I don't know. Sometimes there's a conundrum why DXY goes up. People come from all over the universe to party. That's funny. That's funny. Dude, why so many people defending Nashville? It sounds like I need to visit. There's too many people defending Nashville at this point. Nash Vegas, that's what we called in my military days. I mean, seriously, is Nashville that good? You want good-looking strippers, go to Texas. All right. Hey, greetings from Flux community. I talked to Flux in Miami, met a couple guys. Good crowd. Yeah, I heard you guys are having a conference in Florida, so I'd love to hear more about it. I like Flux. All right, guys. That's it. Let's conclude. Buy Bitcoin. Stick with Bitcoin. There's more good things coming, right? And this is absolutely huge. It's enormous. There's going to be a lot of people buying Bitcoin in a week. All right, guys, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And there's way too many people saying that Texas or Nashville is a fun party city. I still don't buy it. All right, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.